What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Scoop. We are back. As you saw, we're kind of trying to pump out more and more videos. Today, I'm going to be doing a New York Jets record prediction game by game. I'm going to be giving my analysis on who I think I'm going to win. Going to try and remain as unbiased as possible. I mean, I'm so excited for this season. Definitely, the Jets are coming in as one of the finally kind of coming in as a team that's actually a bit more respected. A team that, if everything goes together perfectly, they could be a team that potentially knocks off the Chiefs in the AFC, but it will be a difficult feat. But I'm going to be doing my full 17 game record prediction. So before I get in the video, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe. Yeah, let's get into the videos. So starting off, we have week 1 Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills at home. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to predict. Again, I'm being realistic here. I'm gonna say Buffalo take week 1, and it's hard for me to say this because the Jets literally beat the Bills last year, with Zach Wilson. So you think if they get Aaron Rodgers, then it's like, yeah, easily they obviously should beat the Bills, but that's just not really how football works. A lot changes. Just um, sometimes teams have good days, sometimes teams have bad days, and I think going into week 1, the Jets still be obviously be a very good team, but they're going to be going through obviously some minor kind of issues, obviously with kind of trying to get chemistry with a whole new team, whole new quarterback, got a few new weapons in there. I think it's going to be obviously a bit of a transition for week 1, especially going against a great team like Buffalo, who are obviously determined to prove that they're still the best of the best in the AFC East. I mean, obviously we've seen a lot of teams, a lot of people pit Miami or New York for the AFC East instead of Buffalo, who have won it the past 4 or 5 years. So it's going to be a tough game. It'll be a very close game. Again, wouldn't be surprised either way. I'm going to be realistic again. As a Jets fan, my instinct is to be pessimistic, but I have to remember this is a very good team. But week 1, I'm going to say they lose to Buffalo in a close game. Week 2, Dallas. I'm going to have them winning this game. I think, again, I'm really high on the Cowboys. It's not a situation where I'm like, yeah, the Cowboys, it's just every year like they're overhyped. They're a really good team. They are probably one of the most on both sides of the ball. I think they're one of the most balanced, well-balanced team with a bunch of star power, and it's gonna be a tough team to beat. But Aaron Rodgers, whenever he's gone into Dallas, whenever he's played the Cowboys, he's just been absolutely dominant. Even in last year where he had a down year with the broken thumb, with not very good weapons, he still managed to beat the Cowboys in Green Bay. And then you're going to Dallas, which he's also been historically very successful. I think the Jets will win that game again. I think it'll be a game where it'll be very defensive, low scoring. I think we've got two very good defensives, great defensive lines, great secondaries, and I think it'll come down to quarterback play. And I think the Jets do have the edge in that category. And it's crazy to say that because it feels so weird. But Aaron Rodgers, I think, is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. I don't think that's a necessarily unpopular opinion. So I think the Jets will beat the Cowboys week 2, go to 1-1. Week 3, this is the most trap game ever I've ever seen, at home against the Patriots. And everyone obviously now, with the Jets getting Rodgers, the Dolphins really loading up on talent on both sides of the ball, the Bills being the Bills. No one is expecting much out of New England this year, but they still have Bill Belichick. They still have a really good defense, and they have really had the Jets number for a long, long time. But even though, as usual, they beat the Jets 2 times last year, we saw that, I think, with any league average, even a below average quarterback, the Jets would have beaten the Patriots possibly both times, honestly, because a lot of those, the reason why they lost was self-inflicted, and that self-inflicted wounds were because of the quarterback. And now you're getting one of the best quarterbacks of all time, someone who, again, is 39, but again, uh he's gonna have his thumb completely healed, so he's gonna be completely healthy, a lot better weapons. I think they'll win. I think they'll finally kind of get that New England issue, they'll get over the hump of that. And it's something they need to, because I understand you have bogey teams, but if you really want to contend for real, you have to beat this team. And I think the issue with the Patriots is that their offensive line, they've lost a few pieces. It's like, it's not a bad offensive line. I mean, I never can think of a Patriots offensive line it never feels like the Patriots have a bad offensive line no matter who they lose, but it's not as good. I think the Jets defensive line, which is top 3 in my opinion. I know some people have them. I saw one PFF where they're outside the top 10. That's crazy to me, but they're, in my opinion, easy top five, third in my opinion in the league. And I think they'll kind of have a great. They dominated again. They dominated New England in their regular season matchups. I think they'll do that. To Mac Jones here, really fluster him, and I think Rodgers will. He actually knows how to read a defense, and I think it'll be a tough one. Again, the Patriots have a really good defense, good, possibly a great secondary. I don't know if Jack Jones will be with the team, but if he does get reinstated, obviously with the charges, but he's a great cornerback, and Christian Gonzalez, in my opinion, the best rookie cornerback in this class. So it'll be again another game where it could be a bit low scoring, but I think the Jets are on paper and even coaching wise, I think they're a better team than New England, and they should win this. So give me the Jets week 3, 2-1, week 4, home against the Chiefs. This one I went back and forth in because it feels like again, it's a game where again, I think Kansas City are a better team than the Jets. Like I mean, they won the Super Bowl. I think it'd be crazy to say that just because the Jets made, I mean, albeit very significant moves, they're not a better team. Just because of that, they're not a better team than the Chiefs. But obviously, just because you're a better team doesn't mean you're automatically going to beat them. And going away to play the Jets, who are a team that are just again so balanced. In my opinion, I said this in our earlier video, our power rankings video. They're a team that I just feel like don't have a weakness. I mean, there are a lot of positions where you'd say, oh, they're not like they don't have like excessive strength, like in terms of skill positions. They're like they have good pieces, but they're not like insanely strong. But they're not weak. I just don't think anywhere. I think that's something that could really pose a threat for the Chiefs. But at the same time, the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs have Travis Kelce. The Chiefs have an amazing offensive line. The Chiefs have Andy Reid. So I think no matter how good the Jets defense is, the Kansas City are going to put up points. And I love Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to be obviously amazing for us, top 10 this year. But in a shootout with Patrick Mahomes is going to be difficult. So I'm going to give it to the Chiefs just because of the experience. And again, like I said, week 4, still kind of figuring it out a little bit. It's going to be a season where really to start, it's going to be definitely going to be some issues. And I think it's going to something where although we do have a lot of familiarity with Rodgers having guys like Hackett, having Cobb and Lazard. There is familiarity, but it's a new team. A lot of teammates, most of the teammates are getting adjusted to Rodgers. And you're playing the two teams I have losing to the Bills and the Chiefs. They're just incredible teams. So, it's a tough start to the season for sure, but I will, give the Chiefs that 2-2, week 5 going away to Denver. I'm going to have them winning that one too. Um, yeah, I know some people are excited about the Broncos going into this year getting Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton, exceptional head coach, but I'm not convinced him and Russell Wilson are the best fit because, again, Payton is kind of. I know Nathaniel Hackett is not even close to Sean Payton, but he does. We saw him with Drew Brees. He loved that kind of rhythm timing offense. It was one of the reasons why New Orleans, especially like in the latter half of the end of Drew Brees' career, they were still such a strong team. But with Russell Wilson, we saw that kind of he wasn't great playing in structure. And I think when you have a matchup like Denver against the Jets, and even as daunting as going to Denver to play again, it's another possible trap game. But I just don't think the Broncos offense is going to be able to handle the Jets defense. And I think on the other side of the ball, again, Broncos, another really good defense. And I feel like I keep saying this, but there are a lot of games where I feel like it could be very tough, low scoring, run the ball, who can make less mistakes. And I feel like the Jets are a team that are very equipped to be a team that really protects the ball well. And again, a really balanced team. So I think they'll go to Denver, win that, go to 3-2. Week 6, hosting the Eagles. And this is a this is where I'm gonna be. This is gonna be maybe this is my first biased pick, but I will give my reasoning. I think the Jets will beat the Eagles. And again, same thing with the Chiefs and the fact that I do not think the Jets are a better team than the Eagles, but it's almost impossible to go 17-0. Like it's just there are a lot of good teams in the NFL, and especially when you're going on the road, especially against a great quarterback, a great team, it's going to be tough for Philly. And I think Aaron Rodgers, again, another team he's historically played well against is the Eagles. I know the Eagles have just never lost to the Jets at the same time, but I just think again, it's hard to kind of explain the even a 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers. It's hard to explain the difference between all the Jets quarterbacks since um I don't know, since Chad Pennington and then Aaron Rodgers. The level is just completely different. I know it feels weird to say, but you have to disregard a lot of kind of the preconceived notions about the Jets because they're coming in now with an elite quarterback, and that maybe not elite. I th elite can be argued, but I think he's definitely top 10, easily top 10, and he's someone who's really just he's just another level for what we've seen from the Jets. And I think again, a team that I think is one of the few teams that can match Philly in terms of kind of their ability, their defense. I think the Jets actually have a better defense than the Eagles. I think the Eagles, I will take the Eagles defensive line over them because again, I they have the Jets beat in terms of depth, although the Jets I'd say are second. And then secondary, listen, I love James Bradbury and Darius Slay, but I think statistically we saw that easily Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, the best cornerback duo in the league. I also love obviously I would take Robert Saleh over. I don't know who's gonna be the Eagles defensive coordinator this year, but I think the Jets are slightly better we saw last year they were a better defense than the Eagles. I think this year they're again, I think they're gonna be a better defense than the Eagles. And I think again, offense, it's I think it'll be a game where I wouldn't say it'll be low scoring because I think both offenses are also very capable of putting up points against anyone, but it'll be a really tough, hard fought game. I think the Jets will come away with the upset. So I have them going to 4-2 now. Um, Now they have their bye week. Then we go to play the Giants. Again, I feel like I'm being biased. I know I keep picking the Jets to win, but again, it's not your ordinary Jets team. This is a very good team, and I think they'll beat the Giants also. A team I think the Giants are a team I'm also very high on. I really think their defense could be top. I mean, their ceiling, in my opinion, is the best defense in the league because that defensive line is nasty, and having Adoree Jackson, adding Deonte Banks in the draft, it's a scary defense. But again, the Jets are, I think, another really underrated thing about them is they can do, I think, with Aaron Rodgers, now they can pass the ball because we saw before their two best players, in my opinion, on offense that season, Breece Hall and Elijah Vera Tucker, they both went down the same week. They were still a league average offense just by solely running the ball. And they were very good at running the ball. But now that they're getting both of them back, so they're going to be a good running team. And it could and that can open up even more now with Aaron Rodgers as a threat in the passing game, and obviously they'll be able to pass the ball a bit better, and it's going to be a good offense. It's going to be a good offense. I wouldn't say a great offense, but it's going to be a good offense. And I think again, going against the Giants, um they're going to be able to put up points. And I think the Giants, listen, I think what Dable is doing is incredible with this team, and now they've added a lot more weapons. I like the additions of Waller, Paris Campbell, um and their offensive line also getting better with John Michael Schmitz. It's the Giants are a good team. The Giants are a good team. I think it's not like last year where they were significantly overperforming their roster. I think this year they have the roster for a playoff team. I just think the Jets are a team that, again, their ceiling is Super Bowl level. I think the Giants are not there yet. They're 1 year away. And again, I know I'm saying this with the Jets not making the playoffs, but roster wise, it's just true in my opinion. So I'm gonna give the Jets that 5-2 now, and then they host the Chargers, and this is a game I feel like is a bit of a trap game. So I'm gonna give the Chargers this one, even at home. And the reason why is because I think everyone is, and including myself, I'm not really that high on the Chargers, but everyone's overlooking them. And that's kind of a very dangerous thing when the Chargers have a top five quarterback in the league, I'd say, in Justin Herbert. You still have good weapons with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, adding Quentin Johnston. And then defensively, we saw that they still have Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. It's a team with not great depth, I would say, but it's just not like a complete team, but they've got a lot of star power, and it's a team that I think on their day can beat a bunch of teams in this league and play really well. Really great complementary football, and I think host going to New York to play the Jets, it's something where listen, they're coming off of a 3-game win streak against tough opponents. I think The Chargers are a team that kind of I don't think necessarily they'd overlook. You can't overlook anyone in the NFL, especially not a team that has Justin Herbert as their quarterback. But it's a team that where obviously it's going to be, they're going to be, I think, a little bit tired. I think it's going to be a game where Justin Herbert, has a good game, and I think they'll pull off the upset there, and then they'll fall to 5-3. I think they'll also lose the next week to the Raiders, 5-4. Um, I think I know Jimmy Garoppolo has that injury thing, and if it's Aiden McCall, whatever their backup quarterback is, the Purdue guy, then I would say Jets would beat the Raiders no matter what. But if it's Jimmy G again, a lot of another team that's being very underrated in the play and this season is the Raiders. The amount of weapons that they have is dangerous. They have Devontae Adams, they have Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers, adding him, Josh Jacobs, one of the best running backs in the entire NFL, drafting Michael Mayer. It's a um it's a dangerous team. And it's a team that doesn't really have a lot of help on the offensive line, but it's a team that really can they're another team that again can be very dangerous. And I think um again the Jets defense is gonna be really, really tested. And coming off that Chargers loss, then you have to go all the way across the country to Las Vegas. I think that will be another game that not necessarily a trap game, but it's just gonna be a tough game against, even if their record doesn't indicate at that point in the season. They're a good team. They're a team that again can beat a lot most of the best teams in the entire league. So I think that would be another game that they lose and they'll fall to 5-4. Then again going to Buffalo, I'm gonna make it a 3 game skid. I think they'll get swept by Buffalo. Um Again, now I'm sounding pessimistic. I'm sounding the opposite. It's just I think I know it sounds weird that I have them beating the Eagles but losing to the Chargers and Raiders, but that's just how the NFL season is, in my opinion. It's just very it's unpredictable. And I think they go on a 3 game win streak. Now they go on a 3 game losing streak. Buffalo, again, like I said, a great team, especially when you're going to their place. Now it is in November. It's gonna be a really tough environment, even for Aaron Rodgers, who is experienced in the cold. It's going to be Buffalo are going to be ready for New York. They're again looking to kind of stamp their place as first in the division. I think it's going to be another game where um we could see this Buffalo defensive line again, which I know wasn't great in the playoffs, but I think with Von Miller, I know he's coming off a torn ACL, but I think it could still be a really, really dangerous defense. And I think that combined with obviously Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, probably it's um it's a dangerous team. And I think they'll lose to Buffalo, go 5-5 hosting the Dolphins. This is, I think they win. It's a tough game for Miami going to New York again. Going to New York in November. I think again the Dolphins are a team. Even as a Jets fan, I'm really high on, but I just think the Jets are not a great matchup for what Miami want to do. They're a team that have great press corners. They're a team that can really get this Miami offense kind of in their West Coast scheme kind of a bit off their rhythm. And again, they have a defensive mastermind and a lot of great pieces, but we have an offensive, not coach mastermind, but we have a quarterback who again, one of the most intelligent quarterbacks in the NFL as well. And he's someone that I think will again, I'm not really talking about how this offense will do. I think this offense will be um very solid. And I think as we go down the stretch, we're going to see now kind of them it'll show why the Jets got Aaron Rodgers, why this team was pitted as a team that could potentially, again, if they reach their peak, they could be in the Super Bowl. And I think Miami is going to be a tough opponent. The Jets are going to go on a 3 game losing streak. A lot of people are going to be wondering, is this it for New York? Are the wheels going to completely fall off? And I think they're going to get a big win there, and then follow that up with another win home against Atlanta. Again, Atlanta, I feel like I'm saying this about every team, but I mean the NFL, I feel like it's just all these rosters are just I feel like very complete right now. It's hard to find a team that I would say are just flat out bad. And the Falcons are a team that definitely revamped their defense. And it's a defense that I think can make a big step up from one of the worst in the league last year. And I think against the Jets, again, against this offense, I think now we're going to start to see them clicking. Brees Hall really getting 100% from that ACL injury. Rodgers kind of clicking really with Garrett Wilson, who I think is going to have, again, a monster year. Corey Davis, Lazard, Hardman, a lot of solid, not great pieces, but a lot of just weapons that really bring different skill sets. And I think we're going to see him kind of build a rapport with some of the guys that weren't former Packers there. And I think that's going to be a I think I think this is a game where I think that really they could kind of win a bit comfortably. Again, I like Atlanta's offense as well, but again, the Jets defense is no joke, and I think they'll find a way to beat the Atlanta in week to improve to 7-5. And then I think they beat the Texans uh the next week and improve to 8-5. And I like what the Texans are doing. I love DeMeco Ryans hire. It kind of reminds me of Saleh, and I think they're kind of taking good first steps. So right now they're not necessarily ready from a talent standpoint. And I think they again it's tough. I just think I don't think their roster is that bad necessarily. I just think they're not on the same level as the Jets. And I think they're kind of right now we're going to see in a year, maybe next year, maybe probably 2 years. I'd say they definitely be contending for a playoff spot. Maybe it's about a lot of it depends obviously on CJ Stroud's development, but I think right now, rookie quarterback, rookie coach, it's going to be a few growing pains. I think the Jets win that, improve to 8-5. Going to Miami now in December never really bodes well. And I think the Jets like once again are going to split with the Dolphins again. I do think this defense again can really not necessarily stifle the Dolphins, but I think it's a team that definitely can slow them down. But going into Miami, really, really just tough place to play at this time of year. I think we're gonna see definitely two in that offense make a step up from what they did a few weeks ago in New York, and I think they'll win that game. The Jets will go to 8-6 now. Commanders, week 16. I think they, I think the Jets win this one as well, going to 9-6 at home. I like the Commanders front four, but and they have a potential to be a good defense. I'm not. I'm kind of. I like Bieniemy. I like their weapons. Not sure about the quarterback. Maybe Howell will be that guy. I don't know, but again, it's a bit uncertainty there, bit uncertainty with the offensive line. Um, I think yeah, it's not a bad again. I say this for every team, but it's a team with every team are very talented. It's really hard to overlook a bunch of these teams. I just think the Jets are a really well built team in the trenches, and I think that defensive line is really going to get after Sam Howell again. Only his first year really starting completely, and I think that's going to be a tough one for him. So I think the Jets win there 9-6. This is one where I think this determines really if they go into the playoffs. And this may be my bias coming out really a bit here. I'm gonna have them beating the Browns, and I love the Browns. Not like obviously not love them like I root for them, but I really like what they're doing, and they are a team that again they're another team whose ceiling is a Super Bowl. Um, and they're hosting the Jets at home. Um, where I think they're going to be in a very similar position. And this will be the atmosphere of a playoff game. Like, I think the winner of this will make the playoffs. The loser, it's going to be a really, really difficult road. And I think the Jets will win this. I think they'll win it. We saw last year, the Jets kind of had that miracle comeback, in Cleveland. I don't think it'll be that kind of same thing, but it's going to be another game where you're going to see that both these teams are really good. They're up there among the best in the league, and it's going to be this. I think Cleveland are going to find a way to run the ball well, kind of control the tempo. They're obviously one of the best run blocking lines in the league. Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the league. But I just think that this defensive line can get after Deshaun Watson, can kind of limit him. I don't know if Deshaun Watson is the same Deshaun Watson that we saw a few years ago before obviously the legal stuff, which is obviously not good at all, but topic for another time. But I think the Jets defensive line can get after Deshaun Watson. I think their offense again is strong enough where again, even against these great pass rushers like Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett. Aaron Rodgers is someone who's good at getting the ball out quick. And I think we'll definitely see that, especially with Hackett's offense. Will be really kind of prioritize. And I think this is going to be a game where, again, it comes down to the wire. Again, I think the Jets will get a really crucial road win to improve to 10-6, which will basically secure them the playoffs, even as I have them losing the next week to the New England Patriots because it's New England. Even though I have them beating us, I have us beating them earlier in the season. Patriots have had our number, especially at Gillette Stadium, and it's still a really, really tough defense. So I'm gonna say we split there, end the year 10-7. I did kind of my full season prediction, so I have them as my sixth seed in the AFC, and I feel like that's realistic for the talent level. It's a really good team, but the AFC is just has just so many good teams like Buffalo, Kansas City, Miami, Jacksonville. Um, I think I said Cincinnati. If I didn't say Cincinnati, then obviously Cincinnati. It is just absolutely just so many amazing, so many good teams. It's gonna be really tough for them to kind of make themselves stand out, but they're still a really good team that's one of the best defenses in the league, now adding one of the best quarterbacks in the league, good weapons on offense. It's going to be a good team. They have a really tough schedule, and I think they'll still come out of there 10-7, which is a respectable record, and it'll have them to dance. And really, as a Jets fan, that's all you can ask after 11 years of no playoffs. So that is my record prediction for the Jets. But again, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe. We have 3 other hosts, Kian, Dylan, and Charlie. So make sure to stay tuned for their videos. We're going to be pumping out more videos, probably a podcast in person coming soon. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.